Microsoft Xbox games dominate PlayStation's top-selling charts. In a surprising turn of events, Microsoft's Xbox games have taken the PlayStation charts by storm, claiming 6 out of the top 10 spots. This unexpected dominance has left many gamers and industry experts alike wondering, how did this happen? And more importantly, what does this mean for the future of console gaming? But here's where it gets controversial. Some argue that Microsoft's strategy of expanding game availability to rival consoles is a genius move, while others believe it dilutes the value of their exclusive titles. Regardless of where you stand on this issue, one thing is clear. The console market is evolving rapidly, and companies like Microsoft and Sony are adapting their strategies accordingly. So, what do you think? Is Microsoft's approach a smart one, or are they sacrificing too much in the name of accessibility? Let us know in the comments below. How Xbox ports are saving the PS5 from its midlife crisis. Xbox games are rescuing the PS5 from its midlife crisis. In 2017, the release of Horizon Zero Dawn marked a pivotal moment for the PlayStation 4. This console transitioned from being merely a platform for indie titles and third-party hits to becoming synonymous with exceptional first-party exclusives. The following year saw the arrival of iconic games like Spider-Man and God of War, and this trend continued until the launch of the PS5. However, the initial momentum has since waned. The current state of the PS5. While Sony initially flooded the market with sequels during the early phase of this console generation, we now find ourselves over 4 years in, and the PS5's success story appears to be unfolding not because of the PlayStation Studios' blockbuster hits, but rather in spite of them. Titles like Astrobot and Helldivers 2, though published by Sony, were developed by external studios, highlighting a gap in original, console-defining intellectual properties. New franchises that could define this generation, such as Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, have yet to materialize, and Sony's heavy investment in live service games has yielded minimal results, tying up development teams for extended periods. Looking ahead to 2025, with anticipated titles like Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yoti, it would be an exaggeration to label the year as poor for PlayStation games. However, it certainly feels less robust overall for the platform. Despite significant third-party releases like Monster Hunter Wilds and Assassin's Creed Shadows early in the year, the latter half appears to be lacking, especially considering where we are in the PS5's lifecycle. One would expect a resurgence of momentum, leading to a climactic end-of-generation experience as developers maximize the console's capabilities. Yet, it feels as though we are still waiting for that much-needed boost. The role of Xbox in the PS5 ecosystem. Enter Xbox. A consistent flow of multi-platform releases and ports of previous exclusives is currently providing substantial support for the PS5. Recent data from Matt Piscatella, Director of Game Research at Circana, reveals that over half of the top 10 best-selling games on the PS5 in the last quarter were from Microsoft. Titles like Forza Horizon 5 and The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered ranked second and third, while Doom, The Dark Ages, and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle secured the 6th and 8th positions, respectively. Notably, perennial favorites like Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Minecraft also contributed to these impressive sales figures. Looking forward, Xbox games are set to continue enhancing the PS5's library throughout the year. Gears of War Reloaded will make its debut on PlayStation next month, alongside Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, while The Outer Worlds 2 promises to deliver a significant sci-fi RPG experience in the fall. Additionally, there's the anticipated Ninja Gaiden 4, along with other unannounced full releases from Microsoft. How long will it be before the rumored port of Starfield arrives? And could we see a version of Halo on the PS5 before the much-anticipated remake of Halo Combat Evolved? The changing landscape of console exclusivity. In today's gaming landscape, no modern console is solely defined by its first-party exclusives. Unless, of course, you're Nintendo. At a time when PlayStation Studios seems to have hit a temporary pause, its longtime competitor, Xbox, has unexpectedly emerged as a crucial support system for the PS5 as it approaches its later years. This shift is largely due to a multi-platform strategy that would have seemed unimaginable just a few years ago. Had Microsoft instead, Microsoft's substantial investment in a new mega publishing model has allowed the console to recover from a series of self-inflicted setbacks. What do you think? As we navigate this evolving gaming landscape, it raises intriguing questions. Are Xbox games truly the lifeline for the PS5? Or is this merely a temporary fix? How do you feel about the current state of console exclusivity? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Xbox dominates PlayStation Store with 60% of top 10 games in Q2. New data shows Xbox is utterly dominating PlayStation's storefront, accounting for 60% of the Q2 top 10 game rankings. The console war is over, with PlayStation seemingly victorious. Or perhaps it's just evolving. It's no secret that Xbox hardware has seen non-stop declines. https://www.windowscentral.com Gaming Circana Xbox may have finally seen some solid yo-yo hardware growth both in units and retail sales for several months. Although PlayStation itself has also warned investors, https://www.forbes.com/2024 Friday, Sony says PS5 sales have peaked after 29% decline, that it expects lower hardware sales through the rest of the generation. Indeed, as the end of the generation is in sight, it's probably only the advent of Grand Theft Auto 6. www.windowscentral.com/gaming/Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed, will now miss 2025 launch window entirely. That could uptick console sales for PlayStation and Xbox. Microsoft and Sony both are working on new consoles, with Xbox hardware plans including OEM-built Xbox-branded PCs like the Xbox Ally from Asus, as well as true successors to the existing Xbox Series XS console ecosystem, in partnership with AMD. In the interim, Xbox has very notoriously changed up its strategy. Faced with growing costs and a decline in console user growth in general, Xbox bit the bullet and decided to begin putting its formerly Xbox exclusive games onto its arch-rival PlayStation storefront. So far, that strategy seems to have been a resounding success story for Xbox and Microsoft, and new data continues to back it up. In a post on Blue Sky, Circana analyst Mac Piscatella described https://bsky.app/profile/Matt Piscatella/Oblivion Remastered, which included recent PlayStation ports like Doom, The Dark Ages, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, https://tag Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Forza Horizon, https://windowscentral.com tag Forza Horizon, pulling together our huge Q2 Games Market Dynamics report, which includes this chart among, frankly, too many others, and just kind of stared at this one for a bit. Piscatella continued, "Wild times in the console market these days. Imagine showing this list to someone in 2015. Indeed. It's hard to imagine a scenario from the previous decade where Microsoft would come to dominate PlayStation's own storefront. All the latest news, reviews, and guides for Windows and Xbox diehards. In a universe where playtime hours are increasingly squeezed by other forms of entertainment and forever games like Fortnite and Roblox, Microsoft's acquisition spree of yesteryear has seen it pick up some forever games of its own, including Call of Duty. https://gaming/Call of Duty. It's encouraging to see that more traditional games that actually finish are also riding high on PlayStation's store, with Doom, The Dark Ages and Indiana Jones enjoying favorable placements high up on the chart. So far, it doesn't seem like this strategy has hurt the Xbox console ecosystem either, giving Microsoft a win-win scenario, potentially. Microsoft repeatedly says to investors in legally binding comments that its overall playtime hours are up on Xbox console specifically. /WindowsCentral.com/gaming. Right now, we have more Xbox console users than we've ever had in the history of Xbox. That number is about to grow after today's showing, not down. If the strategy was leading Xbox users away to PlayStation, you'd expect that number to decline. And it seems PlayStation has taken notice of this too. Gaming has changed, for better or worse. For all the success Xbox is having right now on paper, it's still opted into thousands of layoffs within its division. https://windowscentral.com/gaming/Xbox layoffs July 2025. Over the past year, there are still major headwinds facing gaming, particularly traditional style gaming, which forced Microsoft's hand towards going multi-platform in the first place. Gamers are less inclined to switch primary platform than they have been in the past, owing to a combination of digital lock-in with content and save files. Microsoft's ability to find new users interested in its ecosystem is limited, but it's also true for other platforms, as everyone competes for the same users in essence. Gaming is also squeezed by competition from other addictive and often free entertainment verticals, including things like Netflix, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and so on. Circana itself noted previously how 40% of all playtime hours goes over to just 10 live service games, including titles like Fortnite. Over 70% of US active PS5 XBS players played at least one of the top 10 live service games of the month during January. More than 40% of all time spent playing on PS5 XBS in the US during January went to those same top 10 live. Source: Circana Player Engagement Tracker, at mattpiscatella.spy.social, at mattpiscatella.by.social, at BSK9BHQRRXT47 in bed. 2025-2046-17.568Z, at BSK9BHQRRXT47 in bed. To cut through the zeitgeist and the noise, platform holders are increasingly embracing a be everywhere all at once approach, with publishers like Square Enix publicly committing to multi-platform releases. https://windowscentral.com/gaming/trunky over timed exclusivity deals. PlayStation itself is seeing the reality that despite having the smallest console install base, Xbox users are still passionate and highly engaged, a number in the tens of millions. To that end, it's bringing Helldivers 2 to Xbox via its new PlayStation publishing arm. https://windowscentral.com/gaming/Xbox/Helldivers 2 on Xbox could strike Halo Gold in begging you please add this one thing, and has spun up job listings to suggest that even more games could be on the way from PlayStation to Xbox. https://windowscentral.com/Xbox Helldivers 2 on Xbox could strike Halo Gold in begging you please add this one thing. /www.windowscentral.com/gaming Sony is hiring to expand PlayStation Studios gaming beyond PlayStation hardware, including Xbox, Steam, and more. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest to see more of PlayStation's celebrated back catalogue hit Xbox platforms. It would represent mountains of high-margin cash for its platform, from users who clearly have little intention to quit Xbox and abandon their libraries. I had thought previously that Xbox's latitude strategy to bring its games to PlayStation would be its Sega-like death knell /www.windowscentral.com/gaming Xbox. Why Xbox customers are right to be angry about Microsoft putting more exclusive games on Nintendo or PlayStation. For hardware, that could still be the case down the line. But Microsoft is investing in hardware more than ever. While also embracing openness it thinks new generations of gamers actively want. The next Xbox is widely expected to support PC stores like Steam. https://www.windowscentral.com/gaming Xbox. If Microsoft is bringing Steam to Xbox, it needs to answer these questions. And the Epic Game Store, while front-loading Xbox Game Pass, https://www.windowscentral.com/gaming Xbox/Xbox Game Pass FAQ, for stable, ongoing subscription revenue that Microsoft has become an industry leader in. Xbox Cloud Gaming is also finding new users who would never have considered the lofty, upfront costs of a console, buoyed by the convenience of availability right from their phones and TVs. Xbox Cloud Gaming should shed its beta tag later this year and potentially ramp up its marketing efforts too. Microsoft now considers the PlayStation install base to be part of its wider Xbox ecosystem install base. Those users are helping subsidize Microsoft's innovations in cloud, content, and its own Xbox console hardware too. AI will undoubtedly have some role to play in the coming years as well, for better or worse.